Another game that took place on Saturday was Oklahoma versus Auburn. Another, I think, home game for Auburn. OU, their first SEC game. And so, I want to look at this from the winner's lens. Second SEC game. They played Tennessee.
Oklahoma.
First
I want to forget
SEC
about
win.
that one.
Yeah,
I want to forget about that one.
First SEC win.
Yes.
Second SEC game. And we got to see our first start from Michael Hawkins. Do we think he met or exceeded expectations for Oklahoma's first win?
I think he exceeded the expectations. And if you didn't watch the game and you're looking at the box score after the game, you might look at it and be like, did this guy perform as well as, Oklahoma would want him to? But you have to think about Oklahoma pretty much missing every single offensive skill player on their team, and asking this guy, this freshman to come in and perform.
At Jordan Hare.
At Jordan Hare, at Auburn, who defense isn't bad. Like, it's a good defense.
Yeah.
And he came in 10 for 15, 161 in the air and 69 on the ground. And that's, I think, all that you want from a guy like that. Like, you're not asking for him to do any more than that. I think he did just enough. I think Jackson Arnold needs to figure out his, maize and blue Michigan outfits for next year when he transfers, or maybe Mississippi State needs a quarterback. Florida State, I don't know. But I think Jackson Arnold's days are starting to be numbered in Oklahoma with how Michael Hawkins Jr. played in this game.
This could be a Caleb Williams, Spencer Rattler situation, and I'm not insinuating that Michael Hawkins is as good as Caleb Williams, but I am insinuating that the job may be Michael Hawkins. He did enough to keep it. He did enough to win the game. He got OU their first SEC win, and I think if I was to grade his performance, I'm going to give him a B+. I think, I'm not asking or looking for as much from him as I expected from Jackson Arnold, who had a couple starts, who played in the bowl game last year, and got some PT for them. And, he was able to show what he can do on the ground, 69 yards, one run rushing touchdown, and, no turnovers. No turnovers is huge. That was a huge woe for Jackson Arnold last week and at the quarterback position. Less about Jackson Arnold, what we were able to see this Oklahoma defense do against Auburn was just enough, right? Obviously being able to force some turnovers in the game and keep them in this game where it felt like Auburn, they played better offensively. They had more yards, but the defense for Oklahoma did just enough for them to win this game.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about Auburn later, but this was probably their best offensive game per opponent, pound for pound offensive performance from Auburn. And Oklahoma had the heart to come out and win this game, right? Like, quarterback played exactly like you need him to do. You have a bunch of players out, you're banged up, you're coming off of a loss in your first SEC game, and you're down. Your kicker's perfect. Auburn can't say that in this game. And, your defense comes out and gets a pick to win the game. So I love the heart of the team in this and what they were able to do.
Yeah, definitely love the heart there. And an area of opportunity when we think about for OU going forward is going to be third down plays, right? Mm-hmm. From what I saw, they're 2-11 in this game. It didn't stop them from winning necessarily, but it's going to make it tougher to beat some of these teams coming up on the schedule.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a tough route for Oklahoma. Like, they gave them a very hard intro to this. You're going to get some of these guys back. I would love to see the team healthy. See Nick Anderson, Deion Burks out there. Jalil Farouk out. So you're never going to see this team at full strength. So you're working with what you got.
Yep.
And I think from a game plan perspective, they're working towards that. Javonte Barnes at running back played well, 61 yards. And again, it's not like a write home about stat line, but what they're doing is putting together games that win. You don't play the spread. You just play to win the football game. All you want to do is win the football game. And they found a way to do it.
Definitely. And so for Oklahoma, they have a bye week coming up, and they have the Red River rivalry. For me, when I look at this game and I look at how the season's gone thus far, and I feel like I can only really go off of the second half of Tennessee and all of Auburn, because back to the offense, it seems to be running through Michael Hawkins. This offense is going to need more some of those weapons, like you talked about, coming back against Texas. And, from what we saw from Texas last week and going forward, I think that this OU team has a shot in the Red River rivalry game. I think they're good enough to they're good enough to neutralize the game because I think Texas is better, of course. But I think they've shown me enough in this half of football against Tennessee and this full game against Auburn to play a competitive game against Texas coming out the bye.
Yeah, I think they could be competitive for sure. I mean, they gave up over almost 500 yards, 482 yards against Auburn in this game. So you don't want to have an overall defensive performance like that. Auburn missed 2 field goals, so there was a lot of opportunities for Auburn to, at the end they threw the pick when they were winning. So you had the game just went your way, right?
Yeah.
Like they did perform well. The game went their way. I think they have opportunities to win their games in the future. But they're going to be kind of scrounging week to week. Lucky they have a bye this week to game plan, take some of this in, and figure out what the plan is for Texas. So I'm looking forward to that game. I'm interested to see, and I'm excited that they have Michael Hawkins Jr. in there because I think that he gives them the chance. I love seeing that run that he broke off at the beginning of the game. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.